Alright, welcome. My name is James. I'm accompanied by Jason, Benji, and Trey. This is the first official episode of Door Kickers and Bootlickers podcast. Tonight's topic will be Trump's impeachment. So, we'll start off. Jason, what is your you're my main man here. What is your opinion on this whole impeachment thing?
Well, if it were up to me, I wouldn't impeach him. Personally, I think it's a
Hmm.
joke, and I think it's ensured his 2020 election. That's just my simple answer on it. Hopefully,
Okay,
everything goes
I
proper
get that.
always, but I'll let other people share.
Okay. Trey, what is your opinion on this?
My opinion on this is it's so stupid. There was no point in doing it for Trump. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he has 9 more months of presidency, not even, and like so they say they impeach him
Yeah,
from office. The whole Senate's full of Republicans, which when they take the vote to impeach him or not, it's gonna be he's gonna stay in office. They're not gonna kick him,
I
and
get that.
also it's taking his job away because all he's doing now is trying to fix this impeachment stuff so he doesn't get impeached.
Mm-hmm. I
That's what he's
get
trying to
that.
do right now, and he's taking time away from his job, from doing his job and protecting our country and
I
stuff.
think that's a good point.
That's an amazing point. Um, we'll get to Benji later on. He's muted right now. But personally, uh, I think it's just a whole joke. The whole impeachment thing is it just doesn't make any sense. He hasn't exactly done anything wrong. Yeah, he puts his foot in his mouth a lot. Everyone does. He
But
says some
he doesn't
things
give
he
any evidence.
exactly. He says some things that he shouldn't say, but everyone does that. And I get it. He should be more careful because he's the president of the United States. He's leading this country that's supposed to be like the greatest in the world. But I get, everyone makes mistakes, and he's actually being human instead of a president. He's running this country as a business. How, in my opinion, I think it should be ran because politics, it's really messy. Everyone tries to play by the rules and everything else like that, and it doesn't work. You know, because they lie a lot and everything else like that to the public, and it screws them over. But I mean, it. Long story short, in my opinion, it's just a giant joke. Benji, what is your opinion on this whole impeachment situation?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he did step out of his bounds as president by
Oh yeah.
asking a leader, for help with his campaign per se. But I don't
Hmm.
think that he should be facing trial
Oh yeah.
and possible treasonous charges because he said words to another person.
Definitely,
I
definitely,
I I understand that it's a foreign leader, but also you have to understand he did not give him a sum of money and say, "Here, promote me."
definitely.
He
All right.
asked for,
And it's not
like,
like other people, I mean, other presidents earlier haven't done this sort of thing.
Exactly. Like, like former presidents have done worse. Prior presidents have done worse. Like Obama. You know,
Yeah.
everyone talks like major shit on Obama, I think, but in many ways it is well deserved. One of the things
And
I find myself going back to, same for Jason, is Benghazi. That is a major thing I find myself going back to when I get into politics and how wrong the left is. Because Benghazi is one of their biggest screw ups, It was a simple concept once you got down to it, and we had we had unexperienced people making tactical decisions. We had non-tactical people making these tactical decisions, and it screwed our guys over so bad. Like I see Jason makes this point a lot when we talk about it. So the 75th Ranger Regiment is trained to deploy within 18 hours to anywhere in the world.
And Hillary said the nearest forces were 22 hours out. Utterly bullshit. They're in the Horn of Africa, in the northern part. They were in Libya. I know there were some Delta guys there. There was Ranger. There was a detachment or something of Rangers. I forget the
Mhm.
precise unit, but there was guys there. They were literally spun up, ready to go. They were
Okay.
completely geared up, ready to go in their helicopters. But no, they didn't get permission to, actually go over there.
And I mean, back to the whole impeachment thing. Like, almost everything in our country has to do with God. Like, I believe in God. It's not. I'm not forcing religion upon you guys. Which, I mean, I don't care if you believe in God or not. But God forgives everyone for what Trump did. He's our country's built basically on God from the Constitution, from where it started. And God forgives everyone. Everyone makes mistakes. Like Hillary, she made mistakes. Trump makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. Everyone makes mistakes.
Exactly.
Back to the also mistakes part. Let's just go over how Hillary leaked fucking government information to known terrorists and got away
Yeah, and
scot
not to
free.
mention that whole conspiracy with Obama running down to Al
Wiping
Qaeda and
servers,
ISIS.
Yeah, and Hillary
dumping
killed how
cell
many people?
phones.
How many like?
Okay.
You guys there? Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. We're
Yeah,
good.
okay, just making sure. Might be cut off.
Sorry, I had to go do something really quick. Personally speaking, whole Hillary thing. I came in halfway through this. I had to go do something. I missed a little bit, but honestly, the whole like what I was saying, Obama, Hillary, and everything else like that. Um, honestly, it's just so stupid. Like how many things Hillary has done wrong. You know, she's like the whole Epstein thing. That's been a major topic.
Epstein didn't kill himself. Just to
Exactly.
throw that out there.
Epstein didn't kill himself, and it's obvious because weren't the security guards found dead not too long ago? They were found. I can't remember if they were found dead or something else like that.
Yeah.
But and there's
And Hillary, even
evidence.
before she had like so many people killed. Like they
Exactly.
were proving stuff, and then all of a sudden they disappear like that.
Exactly. It's to me. In my head, I compare it to what recently happened in Mexico. Um, who was it that they just arrested? Was it El Chapo?
His
That's,
son.
yeah. They let him go and everything. And a few days after that whole like miniature boogaloo, I guess you can say, that happened in Mexico, um, the two police officers who arrested his son were found dead. They were shot like 103 times in their patrol car as revenge because they arrested his son. It's like that, because like and she, like Epstein, she had him killed. She's had plenty of other people killed, excuse me. But the entire left side is corrupt. And
And not to say that Republicans and libertarians
exactly,
and everything isn't. I'm just saying it's more so the
the
left than
left,
the
yeah,
right.
like the neo left, the left extremists, whatever you want to call them, they they are trying to take away this lifestyle that we have had for like hundreds of years, And one of the ways that they're trying to do that is by impeaching Trump, because he's taking us back to it. You know, he is taking us back to the old lifestyle. You know, I don't agree with everything he says, you know, but all around he's one of the better presidents we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Especially
Like
after coming out
job
of
rates
this.
are up. How much are they
Yeah,
up?
job rates are, I don't know, man, but they're up. It's like 5%,
6. I'm pretty sure it was last
6,
time I
yeah,
checked.
6%, I think. But um especially after coming out of Clinton's and Obama and all that stuff. It's bad, you know. We're kind of trailing off here, but like one of the main things I look to, and same for Jason here, probably all four of us here, when we see these this political stuff, is what are they doing for our first responders? What are they doing for our military? And that's one of the things we look for, you know. The left, they just screw everything over, you know. They've screwed over the military, physically and mentally, and economically. They've screwed over first responders, everything else like that. And it is ruining these people trying to do the grunt work. And
Yeah.
we can't get enough people there and everything else. Trump, he's done a lot of good stuff for first responders and military. And I know Trump and the military, you always get back to the whole bone spurs thing. But I want to say a lot of people did that kind of stuff. Like, if they could get out of that war, they did. You know, nobody wanted to go over there and fight that war. And personally, if I was back then, if I was like that, or God, if I was back in that time, I wouldn't want to go either. You know, it was such a messed up war. You know, and he's done a lot of good stuff for our military. Like just recently, he sent a fake convoy to the golf course. Well, he snuck off and flew over to Afghanistan to visit the troops for Thanksgiving. You know, it's amazing that he does that kind of stuff. What other presidents have done that kind of stuff?
Yeah, okay. And also about talking about the military and stuff, I was just thinking, like militias, like not like man-made militias that like I don't know people like patrol the border down there. Like there's their own militias down by the border that patrol, like they have their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And them saying they're taking Air-15s away, we should not. But them just saying that because they wouldn't do it because it's unconstitutional, and if they
Exactly.
did that, all hell would break loose.
Mm-hmm.
And if they did that, like how it used to be like down in Texas and stuff, it was 10-1 Americans, like way back then when we like the Alamo and then it was 10-1 Americans
Mm-hmm.
to Mexicans. Now it's like 10-1 Mexicans to Americans. I don't kind of get off topic here, but you know, still,
That's
like there's immigrants coming into the country illegally every
Mhm.
day and bringing drugs in the country, which is more dangerous for first responders and stuff because some guys on meth or crack or something.
Yeah, exactly.
He might not be thinking, and then an officer could die that day.
Like, that's actually a really good point. He is trying to stop that stuff, and that's good. You know, we're supposed to be sovereign. You know, in my opinion, NATO it has its pros. Don't get me wrong, but that is possibly the biggest screw up that we made joining NATO and not staying neutral. You know, economically and all that kind of stuff. You know, we, in my opinion, we need to back out of that kind of stuff and just taking a step back, focus on our own stuff.
Yeah, like you just said, focus on our own stuff, not focus about other country stuff.
And that's what he's trying to do. That's what Trump's trying to do. Instead of
And that ties in with the whole Turkey thing in
Uh-huh.
Syria. Like we're trying to support the Syrians, but we can't, because Turkey is a member of NATO,
exactly,
and so that's why we can't do anything over there.
exactly. Personally, I don't like this whole situation with Turkey either. Yeah, he messed up. Trump did, but he's not the only one that messed up in that situation. I think this country needs to get out of the Middle East, not exactly leave NATO, but take a step back from it. Focus on our own stuff, focus on the U.S., which is our own country. That's what he's trying to get us to do, but nobody's letting him. and it's screwing us over, and it's going to continue to screw us over.
Yeah, and that's basically what's getting to the point. What's kind of screwing us over here then is with this impeachment thing going on. He can't do his job, like I said before,
Exactly.
and do it. He has to do his impeachment shit.
Exactly. You know, the the biggest takeaway from that is, like we keep saying, the left is corrupt. And there's plenty of evidence to prove it, you know? Between Elizabeth Warren trying so hard to prove that she is Native American to, like, fit in and be equal so that she can gain votes and praise and
Also,
everything.
AOC just completely lying about everything immigration-wise.
Oh, yeah. She's a whole different topic, honestly. But, and Nancy Pelosi, she said, like, we must defend the Constitution, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
When,
while
in
she tries to
fact,
rip it up.
she's trying, yeah, her side is trying to rip it up, and she's helping them.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Democrats right now. Like, this is kind of a little bit off topic, but when I went to Washington, I'm a freshman this year, and I went to Washington D.C. last year for my class field trip,
Uh-huh.
and we went to it's over by a Vietnam Memorial. It's like the Franklin, I don't know. It was Franklin D. Roosevelt, I'm pretty sure,
Uh-huh.
and he was holding a cigarette in his hand, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the American Lung Association, which don't get me wrong, they can be good sometimes, but the thing was that though is they took the cigarette out of Franklin D. Roosevelt's hand, like they cut it off, so he's holding nothing, so it looks like he's just holding something, and that's part of American history. Like, why do that?
Exactly, and
Oh, it's kind of off topic.
the left is... That might not necessarily be from the left, but that is a good representation of what the left is doing and has done. Do I agree with what the South was for? No. Do I agree with slavery? No. Do I agree with smoking or chewing tobacco or anything like that? No. But is it a part of our history? Yes. If you're going to teach history, you should teach history. The actual truth, not your version
Instead
of
of
it.
changing it to your own way, exactly.
It's just like, Ben Shapiro's not exactly the greatest, but facts over feelings, And, facts don't care about your feelings, blah, blah, blah. But, and I get the argument, we're supposed to be all-inclusive and everything. We're supposed to let everyone in. But, if we start accepting MS-13 members, murderers, rapists, robbers, all that kind of stuff, then where will we draw the line? We're letting terrorists in. We're letting gang members in. And Trump is trying to prevent that. We can't just keep letting all these random people into our country. There is a system in place for a reason.
And I get that some of them are good, but
Uh-huh.
you guys to take into account that some of them are bad too, and there are always going to be the few bad that join it or
Oh,
that
yeah.
ruin it for the few. And as much as that sucks, there's a process. There's a whole process for it.
Mm-hmm.
It might take a while, which I think, in my opinion, I don't know about you guys, but I think we should definitely work on shorting that up.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
there's a lot of things we need to work on, but
Yeah.
I think to lighten up that whole issue for everyone, I think we should try and, shorten the length of the process.
Definitely. Definitely. That makes perfect sense. But, Jason, like, from your personal standpoint, from a guy who has seen it all, done it all, what is your opinion on Trump trying to pull us out of the Middle East?
See, I think that's an extremely complicated situation because at the same time, I want everyone out of danger. I want, even for the civilians and everything over there, I want them to have a good life without being, constantly shot at every other day.
Definitely.
But at the same time, I don't want, immediately after we leave and pull out of there, I don't want them I don't want the enemies that are still left over there. I don't want them coming over here, going to the UK, blowing shit up,
Exactly.
basically like that. I don't want that. But at the same time, I want everything to be quite, just chill in simple words.
Oh yeah. And talking about
Definitely a complicated situation though.
talking about the UK, that brings me to another topic. And this is a bad thing from Trump. I know y'all are gonna agree with me on this, but his whole stance on bump stocks and suppressed weaponry and everything. I used to be like, okay, it's just a piece of plastic, blah blah blah. And I used to think, oh yeah, I can say I don't like these things and that they should be banned and still support the Second Amendment. False. The Second Amendment protects all firearms, even if they're things I do not think I don't think civilians should have. Like, it's the same thing as uh abortion. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I don't think it should exist. But it is protected under the Constitution, so therefore it should not be illegal. Same thing as firearms. Same thing as freedom of speech. And speaking of, UK, you brought that up. This guy had to go into a bayonet style stance and charge this terrorist with a fucking narwhal tusk because they can't carry firearms. They can't defend themselves. And that brings me to the police in the UK.
All
This,
of them have, well, not all of them, but a lot of them have MP5s. They got plate carriers. They're sitting on the streets. They're
oh
at the
no,
corners of every street.
it's not that. It's the fact that they have to high noon someone with a taser like it's the good, bad, and the ugly. These basic patrolmen and patrolwomen
They don't have
cannot carry
firearms.
firearms. They have tasers,
Exactly.
batons, mag lights, and OC spray. They do not have a Glock 19, a P320, a P226. You know, the
Let
the
me bring up my
the
point.
the
With
most.
the officer,
Go
I'll
ahead.
go first.
No, you go
Okay.
ahead.
So with the officers and stuff, let me just bring up a short thing here. You see all over the news, oh, this officer shot this guy. Don't get mad at the officer. He's just doing his job trying to protect the
Exactly.
people. The news is just trying to make the officer look bad. The
Exactly.
officer's trying to do his job. There might be more behind that why the officer shot that guy. He might pull out a gun on him. Or
Exactly.
you see a kid get shot with an airsoft gun. Well, I mean, if it has a black tip on it, if it has no orange tip on it, and you're aiming at a police officer, you're probably gonna get shot.
Exactly. And I get the whole concept of, oh yeah, if we take away all the guns, there's going to be less violence. Sounds good on paper, but is against your rights and does not work in the real world.
Not even that. It would increase the crime probably by double.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because Americans can't protect themselves then from
No,
the guys.
not even that. Civilians would have no way of protection. I mean, yeah, you have knives and all that, but then what happens if a bad guy over there who wants to mug you pulls out a Glock and he's like, "Give me all your shit," and then what are you gonna do? Poke him with the knife? No, you're gonna get shot.
Exactly.
The bad guys are always gonna get the guns.
And
Yeah, they're
Jason
gonna
here,
go in.
Jason can tell you personally, there's been people that have baggy enough clothing, they can hide an entire AK-74U on themselves. Like it's a Glock 19 in a T-Rex arms holster on your appendix, You can't see it.
Yeah, and how small they're making guns sometimes these
Uh-huh.
days, like for concealed carry. You can pull it under your hat.
This little Kel-Tec 9 little thing, it's single stack and everything else like that. Drop it in your pocket, nobody knows it's there. You know?
And then you get into the very small, like the very small revolvers. I mean, you can
Mm-hmm.
hide those anywhere, literally
Little snub.
anywhere.
Yep.
And even like the ones they use for World War I or World War II, I'm pretty sure
Yep.
it was. It's designed to have one shot. It folds up.
Exactly.
Like,
You know, it's, you know, guns are part of our basic rights. It should not be taken away.
The
We,
country was founded on the use of the firearm.
exactly. You can't have this country that owned, like, most of the world when it was in its prime, that created this empire with weapons, with guns, swords, all that stuff, and then take them away. You just can't do that. This country, and pretty much every other country, was founded on blood. That blood was shed with weapons. This country, the blood it was formed on, was shed with guns. Guns, it's just weapons are part of my religion. You know? It's just like that. And that brings me back to we kind of got off topic there, but brings me back to Trump wanting to take away suppressors and bump stocks. I don't like that. Should not do that. It's against Second Amendment. Do I think some people should have certain firearms? No. Is it in the Constitution? Yes. The Constitution is what this country is formed on, so I'm going to defend it. And
and if you
Trump,
make the
like I
the
said,
background checks long, I'll you want to go or do you want me to go?
um, but Trump, like I said before, he's not the greatest. He's
Yeah,
done
he's
bad
what we
things.
got right now.
He's done good things, but he's best we got. I was talking to Jason not too long ago how amazing it would be if we had Charlie Kirk as president. And who else did I say? Was it Ben Shapiro? Yeah,
I forget who it was.
I think it was Charlie. Yeah, Charlie Kirk as president with Ben Shapiro as vice. I think that'd be pretty cool. But like I keep saying, like what we've all been saying, and I guess the major takeaway from this like super long podcast is Trump is good, Trump is bad. Is he the best we got? Yes. Is it going to get any
Is
better?
he the best ever?
No, he's not the best ever.
He's not.
Is it going to get better? No. I guarantee after he's out of office, it's just going to go downhill. Boogaloo's going to start.
And that,
But
that brings us to the whole Virginia
I was just,
Senate Bill
yeah.
16, Senate Bill 64 topic.
But Trump is best we got, best we're ever going to get probably for a long time. Is he the greatest? No, he's definitely not the greatest. Everyone has their faults, and I get he's president. He needs to be doing better. I think he should be doing better.
And
But
it
he's
says in the Constitution, or like I forgot what it was in, but it says if like the government is corrupt, our civilians can tear it down and build it back up. But if we try to
exactly.
do that now, there's gonna be another civil war.
Exactly. But he's best we're going to get probably for a long time. It's just going to go downhill after he's out of office. I mean, I don't think he should be impeached at all. Ever. I don't like the whole impeachment thing to begin with. And you can ask any of these guys here, I'm pretty violent, to be honest. I think if we have a president that's actually like really messing up and screwing over our country, we shouldn't take some sort of political trial. I think they should be held accountable straight up. It justice system screwed up. Just like the Eddie Gallagher case. justice system is screwed up and it's going to screw over all kinds of people. And it's going to screw over Trump with this impeachment thing, if it gets that far. We kind of got off topic a lot here, but main takeaway,
It all ties back.
if there is one, is that Trump is the best we're going to get. I've said that like 5 times now, but he's the best we're going to get, you know?
You know, I want to throw this in. America is all in the same boat here, so why are we trying to screw ourselves over by,
Exactly.
throwing us into, going against each other? We're all in the same boat here. We should be on the same side, working towards the same solution, the common goal, what's best for literally everyone. And I know you're not going to get that all the time, but, we
Now,
can try.
let me throw something out there. Benji, from someone who lives in a very liberal state,
Mm.
what is your opinion on the whole like neoliberal side from someone who actually witnesses it on a daily basis?
It's it's like crazy, to be honest. It's kind of like I don't know how to word it. 10 to 1, uh, most chances, and you rarely meet someone who you see eye to eye with, because everyone's just shrouded with on the same, I guess you could say, fake news
Oh yeah,
about how Trump's the worst person in the world, and he is this racist ruler who's using quote fascist terms
definitely.
to run the United States.
A thing that is commonly compared to Trump is Hitler, the Third Reich, Auschwitz, stuff like that. And I don't see it at all. I don't see it whatsoever.
I mean, I could see the whole why people say Auschwitz, but it's their own conscious decisions trying to come here illegally, and we can't just dump them into general population, and
Yeah.
we have to document every single person who comes here, because we can't just dump them back over to Mexico or
And they
wherever they
knew
come from.
if they come over the border, they had the chance of getting caught. They got
Exactly, they
caught.
knew what they
It's
were getting
illegal.
into.
People go to prison for illegal stuff. Like,
Exactly. And people are so sensitive about that topic, but don't realize how, like, all the stuff that our country has done that is much worse than illegal immigrants getting put in prison cells.
Not even that, hardworking American citizens who break their backs to work and get a good job in this country. Now the jobs are just getting handed out like candy to immigrants who come here.
and
Definitely.
speaking of
For
immigrants, taxes are gonna go up because people sit there. Some people might have a reason, like we got in an accident or something, they can't work to sit there and collect welfare. I understand if you got like an accident or something bad happened to you, well, you can't work. But if you're a immigrant and collecting stuff from us that we're working for, like, they don't deserve it. They came here illegally
Oh yeah.
and they're not working, and we're working for them to sit on their butts all day and do nothing.
work hard, get your job like every other American citizen here.
Oh yeah. And a thing that Trump's been trying to fix, and excuse my language here, are the so-called welfare whores. You know, the ones that live off of welfare and food stamps and everything, and say, "Oh yeah, my crippling anxiety I just can't get a job." And they're like 23, never worked a day in their life. When they were with their parents, they lived off of daddy's paycheck. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I hate people who say that because the people who are poor and work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, they're probably going through worse stuff than they are. And when they're just sitting there collecting money,
Oh
like,
yeah. They talk about their so-called disorder and their crippling anxiety
yeah,
and their
Now,
I
depression.
know.
honestly, I'm completely for government giving money and food stamps and like that, but only to the people who need it. Like you were
Exactly.
saying, the guys with quote unquote crippling anxiety. I think
It's
I
fake.
know a lot of people aren't gonna like this, but I think it's a joke from a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I think they're completely making it up. And I know some of them. I know a few of them. It's real. Like
Oh yeah.
it's real. But
I
most of them that claim that just in other words bogus stuff to get uh, paychecks and whatnot benefits. I think that's a joke. I don't think we should support them
Not
because
even
they're
that.
capable.
People going as low as faking military service to get a 5% discount
oh
at
yeah.
To
McDonald's.
get $1 off at Chick-fil-A, I think that's yeah,
Oh
honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or people faking their injuries, like at a business, at a workplace, faking their injuries. Like,
definitely.
yes, they have court cases and private investigators going into that, but still, if you get caught faking injury, you should be punished, like, bad, because you might put the company out of business, and you can sit there and laugh and collect your money for faking something.
It's it's bad. And what makes it even worse is that there's people out there that are legitimately suffering from this kind of stuff, and they can't get the food stamps. They can't get all this welfare crap because there's fake people taking it away from them.
Yeah,
Like
It's
homeless
not even.
veterans on the streets.
yeah. Veterans should not be homeless. They serve their country. They're the reason why we're still a country, kind of. Otherwise, we'd be attacked by terrorists. I know you and
Exactly. We're
Jason would say.
giving more benefits to people that come here illegally, completely illegal. I mean, there's a process, and if they come here legally, and they get a job and everything, and they get the
I'm all for
American
that.
dream, if you will, I'm all for that. But if they come here illegal, I don't think they should get benefits that homeless veterans should, because they serve their
Yeah,
country and they've made complete sacrifices that, quite frankly, they can never be fully, their debt can never be fully repaid.
yeah,
We
and
cannot
I
fully
think like
repay
some
them.
people, like I think veterans should get paid more. People in the military should get paid more. They don't get paid that well to
Oh
do
yeah,
the job that
the
they're doing,
NFL
like
stuff, like
dying.
they get paid several $1 million, and
Let me
I don't completely agree with
come in
that.
really quick. Benji, you were trying to say something earlier.
Yeah, going back to the whole like welfare and all that. And I'm not saying like welfare level, but I know people who parents are struggling because say they have lost a person in their family, like a source of income, like a
Hmm.
parent, and they get ultimately screwed over because they have to provide for their family. Like my one friend, um, they lost their parent, and it's a him and his sister, and um, their one parent has to provide for two mouths to feed, a roof over their head, and utilities and all that. And since they have a job that their paycheck pays a little too much, they can't get the benefits that they need to keep their family under a warm house. And they struggle with poverty because they have no one to help them because all the benefits are going to illegal immigrants.
Oh yeah,
Because that once their child goes over 18, the benefits cut and you get nothing.
definitely, definitely. And there's places that like these sanctuary cities that are handing this stuff out to illegal immigrants, and that's something Trump is trying to fix. And the whole not being able to provide for your family brings me back to another topic I like to talk about: taxation. The
Oh my
whole
god.
basis, the whole like one of the main thing, actually the main thing that this country was formed on was anti-taxation. The
Yeah,
reason we
no king,
started
no
shooting
taxes.
redcoats was because of taxes. And what is our country doing? The same thing
Yeah, we like we
those
said, we
filthy
wanted to
tyrants
like
did to us back then.
how they first started. They wanted no king, no taxes.
Mm-hmm.
We got taxes, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. And everybody argues, oh, it's for the roads, it's for the bridges, it's for this, it's for that. Who gives us the money in the first place? The government. Who takes away the money? The government. I
Okay,
would
also,
rather get paid less and have the government keep the money they need than the government give me all this money and then take away over half of it.
the amount of taxation in the state of, well, I'm just gonna say, for example, New York State. All right, the amount of taxation in that, and then how much the cost of living is accounted on top of overall taxation, not of the according of your living. It's crazy. It's honestly insane. For in New York City, for example, for a like a flat, like a
Mhm.
bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, set upwards of $70,000 to $100,000.
Mhm.
Oh, this one house in San Diego was the cheapest, quote unquote. It said it was the cheapest house in San Diego. The house was all torn down. Like, it wasn't torn down, but it had all stuff wrong with it. $600,000, and it wasn't that big either. It didn't. It was a 1 story. 600 grand for a house that all torn up, 1 story. Like,
And
I don't know.
that brings me back. Liberals, the left, neo-leftists specifically, are trying to increase taxes, and then they also say, "Oh yeah, free college for everyone." I don't agree with the free college either, but they're trying
No.
to raise taxes and everything else like that, and they're making it to where it's, you know, the elite only, pretty much. And
Yeah, and so say
they're
you
not
do get free
giving
college.
they're not
Okay.
giving the lower people a chance at all.
Okay. So say you do get free college. Okay.
Hmm.
Wait till you get out of college. Then you'll be like, oh, why is there free college? You'll be paying off other people's colleges. You
Definitely.
won't be able to afford a house because you'll be paying off someone else's college.
And we actually have a college graduate here. Jason, how bad was the whole college debt thing for you?
Well, I wasn't as bad for me, but I know it gets really, really bad. Like people cannot ever in their life repay their debt sometimes.
I know people in their, I'm gonna say, late 40s to late 50s still paying college debt.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
And it just I know the whole thing that he did, that Jason did, it has helped him in his life. I don't know what he all did, and you don't have to tell us, but I know it has helped him in his career that he's led so far, all the stuff he did. But at the same time, a lot of it's not worth it when you actually get down to it.
It really isn't. I'm gonna be honest. The main reason, yeah, like yeah, I wanted it for other reasons, but the main reason is because it was required for my field of my job. Basically, that was the main reason. If I were to be honest. So there's that.
And I get that. I definitely get that. And it not only helped you with your career, but it also helped you in your personal life and everything else like that. But like I said, when you get down to it, it's honestly not really worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, for the average person, it really isn't worth it.
College
Unless you
is,
want a specific job and
yeah,
you know you're going to want it and you know you're going to get it no matter what, I'd say go for it. But everything else, like if you don't know what job you want and you don't know even if you're going to get this job, because there's you hear so many stories of so many people. It's like they get a degree and then they just can't find a job. And
definitely.
I feel bad for those people.
Yeah, like there's any younger viewers watching, like kids in middle school and early high school. I know I'm in early high school, but know what you're gonna do before you go to college. Because like our
Exactly.
teacher said, like he had so many friends that went to college, didn't know what they were gonna do after college. You need to know what you're gonna do after college, otherwise you're gonna be stuck in student loans,
I
paying
know
them all off.
a guy. He's a great guy. A good friend of mine. He took a class in college and got his degree in um technical engineering. He works on computers and all that. And to this day is struggling to find a job. And the reason he's struggling to find a job is he got screwed over in so many different things, college debt and all that kind of stuff. I won't go into too much detail with it, but long story short, the neo-leftists are designing this free college to lure in and make more elitist people. Make all these elite people for them, you know? And they think, oh yeah, free college is going to lure in all these people and it's going to attract them to us since we gave them this free college. They get this free college and they complete it and everything else like that, and then they go on and become all these people and they praise us. They vote for us. That's my takeaway, and that sounds like that makes me sound like I live in some sort of bunker out in Alabama and wear tinfoil hats. But
That makes sense.
yeah, when you actually break it down and get into the actual science behind it, it makes sense. You know, just looking at it on paper or something like that, yeah, makes me sound like some sort of conspiracy theorist. But you break it down, and it makes a lot of sense. And I think college helps a lot of people, depending on what you want to do. I don't I don't like college or anything else like that. I'm not a college kind of person. And I don't think I'm ever going to need it, personally, you know? But I think you notice Trump and all these conservatives and libertarians are not focusing on that kind of stuff. They're focusing on the actual important stuff, which is our rights and all that kind of stuff. And that's another reason they're trying to impeach him and screw over conservatives and libertarians. Because the conservatives and libertarians are messing up their plan, their perfect elitist idea. And like I said, makes me sound crazy, but like Jason said, you get into it, you get into the science. Like he said, it makes sense. And like you get into it and you actually break it down, you study each individual part of it, and it actually starts making sense. But Trump is good and bad. Everyone can agree on that, here at least. But like this is like the 15th time I've said it. It's not going to get any better. It's going to go downhill after him, and our country's going to get screwed over. And a lot of people don't get that. Nancy Pelosi doesn't get that. Elizabeth Warren doesn't get it. All of them don't get it because all they care about is money and power. That's the leftist idea. Money and power. And their whole socialist dream world. You know how many times socialism has worked? None.
It sounds great. It sounds great, but no one's ever been able to pull off a great execution of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think anyone is going to.
Let's take.
Too many things need to work right for it to happen.
There's three individual plans that are all the same when you actually get into them that have never worked. Dictatorships, communism, socialism. Examples: Communist Russia, the Soviet Union. Broke down, people started rebelling, they're democratic, as well they say they are now. Socialism, Venezuela. They have their own boogaloo going. And just a little quick fun fact, they haven't been reported on ever since that happened. Dictatorship, China. They have their own civil war little boogaloo going too. There's people in China running around waving American flags around, chanting, "Give me liberty or give me death," blah, 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 because we represent freedom, and that's what they want. That's what Trump is, for the most part, for, is freedom. And the leftists, the neo-leftists, are against that, because they know with freedom, they lose their power, which means they lose their money, which means they are not praised as the gods they want to be. And we have 4 unique people here. You know, Benji here, he has lived a very extravagant life. So is Jason. So have I. So is Trey. And when you get down to it, we do not actually all believe in the same thing individually for some things. But we are able to come together in a group in an organized fashion and calmly discuss the topic, which is not what the leftists are able to do.
Yeah.
You know, you see them throwing little homemade bombs at windows and burning blue line flags. And
Yeah, if it wasn't for the police officers today, you wouldn't be alive. For them
exactly,
and military.
you can ask Jason here. He's seen some extravagant stuff.
Yeah, I know you got hit by cars multiple times on the job. That's right now in work right now.
Crackheads and all that kind of stuff.
A whole nother topic too.
Oh God. Yeah.
How could you call yourself an American when you burn the flag of the country you step foot in?
Yeah.
And I 100%.
That brings me back to the saying: if you don't like it, leave.
Yeah.
It's really simple.
The only reason why they're staying here is they know they're protected here.
Uh
For the
huh.
Exactly.
most
If
part.
they go out to northern Africa, they go out to middle of Mexico,
Mhm.
Tijuana, stuff like that, they are going to get killed.
Yeah,
Also,
you go to Mexico and you say Mexico City and you say some shit wrong, you're dead.
what happened to all these openly highly leftist celebrities that when Trump gets elected, I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
They're still here.
They
Yeah, they're
did
hiding
not
behind
stick
us.
Exactly.
to their word. They're still here because they're scared and they don't know where else to go. Because they do know that they won't have the freedoms and liberties that they do have here.
Exactly.
And then they call against it and backstab the people who fight to give them those liberties.
The only way you're gonna be able to survive in a different country is if you're like some high power in our country, like Edward Snowden.
It's like
In Russia,
you
he's protected in Russia. He get free. He can do whatever he wants because he knows everything about America.
you have these people. They say, "Oh yeah, ban guns," and they don't agree with our country, but they're still here with their American bodyguards. They got training from other Americans and carry American firearms. It's ironic, really, but we should probably end this soon. But honestly, takeaway that you should be getting from this is Trump isn't that bad. Taxation is theft. Neo-leftists want to control us. Socialism, communism, and dictatorships have never worked. And First and Second Amendment are what they're trying to take away, and they're the most important
And like he said
amendments.
15 times right, like after Trump, the nations will go down. Like like I said before, I don't care if you believe in the Bible or not, but I do. And it says in the Bible, every great nation shall fall. It's not
Exactly.
wrong because think about it. The Mayans fell, the Mayan nation fell, the Incan nation fell, and I personally think we're the next one to go. We're on a downhill slope.
Yep. Well, I think that is the conclusion for tonight's podcast. I want to thank Jason, Benji, and Trey for joining me. Hopefully, they'll be regulars. But if you tuned in, I appreciate you for tuning in. Please tune in. Hopefully tomorrow for another podcast. Thank you. Stay classy. Stay American.